Everyone has been clapping. They've been celebrating. Look, the immigration arrests. We're doing Home Depot raids, man. Optics. Meanwhile, there are illegal biological lab operations being discovered inside American neighborhoods. Not at the border, not overseas, inside our country. And it's not random. They're connected. And they keep leading back to the same damn place. You know, I've been screaming, guys, about this for years. You don't lose a country from the outside. You hollow it out from the inside. And while everyone's distracted by low-risk enforcement that looks good on headlines, it makes great Instagram reels, but the high-risk stuff keeps just slipping through. And it's never caught until something bad happens. This is not a theory anymore. This is documented. It's real. And this is happening right now. So everyone forgot. I remember screaming about it, about the military-age males at the border. Remember these guys? I ain't seen any of those guys getting picked up, but I've seen them doing Home Depot raids, man. They were asking them on what states they were going to. Oh, man, New York, all the big major cities. They all look like military-age males, military haircut, look standing at freaking parade rest. They have, military bearing. Anyway, let's get to the story of the day. This is what we know. Law enforcement, including the FBI, executed a search warrant at a residential property in Las Vegas. Inside the home, refrigerators and freezers, vials of unknown liquids, lab equipment. Look at this one. Fridge was labeled Ebola. Oh my gosh. Enough biological concern that roughly 1,000 samples were seized and shipped out for analysis. Yeah. This wasn't a garage hobby. This wasn't, oops, we missed some paperwork. This was a biological setup inside of a neighborhood, and the property manager tied to the house was arrested. Not just for hazardous material issues, which should be enough as it is, but also federal weapons charges. After additional warrants were executed, this is guy Ori Solomon. Pause there. We have biological materials, weapons inside of a freaking residential property. That alone should snap people awake and say, guys, let's get to doing some real shit. Knock off the landscape bullshit, fighting protesters. Let's go get bad guys that are inside, obviously planning something within our borders. You don't have a freaking biolab unless you're planning on doing something. Man, you're worried about Juan cutting the grass. Let's get to it. Now, this is where it gets uncomfortable, man. The Vegas property linked ownership to Jai Bai Zhu. And forgive me if I massacred that name. Now, he's a Chinese national already in custody. Why? Because Zhu here was previously tied to the Reedley biolab case in California. That case should have ended their careers, man. In Reedley, authorities found thousands of vials, biological materials, no permit for the lab operations. And the official line later was, hey, man, no evidence of a bioweapon. Nothing to see here, Americans. All good, cool. That's not the win people think it is, because unauthorized biological operations inside of our borders are really still a nightmare scenario. And even without Hollywood labels attached to it, this is the same name, the same network, the same pattern showing up again, different state, different playbook. And I've showed maps of it. They don't make this public, but man, they're finding these biolabs in almost every state. Again, let me show some video clips here. Got some videos. This is like some body cam footage from inside. I mean, just look at, see what we find here. Look, test tubes, man, home chemistry set. Yeah, this is totally normal. Totally normal. Nothing to see here. Why was not immigration going after these cats? And by the way, they had weapons too. One lab incident, guys, one containment failure, and we didn't think it was a big deal, right? And the world shuts down. They try to tell you it's about a bat, but you were losing your businesses. You lost years off your life. You didn't see your grandparents dying in the hospital because, 6 feet distance, and not being indoors. You lost trust in the government, right? And now we're supposed to just shrug. Here's another video. When unlicensed labs are found inside of residential homes. I mean, this looks pretty serious to me. I'm not a chemist or anything, but this looks pretty serious. A biologist. I'm not a biologist. No, it's not paranoia being worried about this. This is pattern recognition. It's what I've been literally screaming about and people get mad at me because they're like, man, you're saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay for Juan to be cutting the grass. What I'm saying in the most plainest language that I can articulate is that get these guys first. Make them the priority. Go after these guys. Guys, biology doesn't need intent to cause damage, man. Negligence is enough. It really is. These guys don't even know what the hell they're doing. They could make a mistake, man. They try to tell you, dude, they to bat and shut the world down. 2 weeks to stop the spread. The real problem is, though, and let's just pop this headline up. Linked to Chinese national with alleged military civil fusion ties. Whoa, what? Yep. They had HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, Ebola. Guys, the real scandal is that the U.S. has massive blind spots when it comes to private biological research. Fragmented oversight, disconnected agencies, regulatory gaps wide enough to drive a freaking convoy through. You can essentially operate in the cracks, and that's how you end up with invisible labs, shell companies, properties held through LLCs, equipment appearing where it never should have been, like residential homes. This is not speculation. This is what happens when enforcement chases optics instead of threats. People cheering for the nonsense that's not going to make any impact in America. Nothing. You might be able to pick up a couple landscape gigs. I don't know, or construction gigs. You can go become a roofer now. But the problem is we have these guys planning something in your freaking neighborhood. It's something I've commented over the years. I barely hear anybody talk about it. But if you connect the dots without bullshit, Chinese nationals, China operates under military civil fusion. Industry, research, and state power are not separated lanes, okay? They're all connected. It's a communist country. And under Chinese national intelligence law, citizens and organizations can be compelled to support and cooperate with state intelligence work, meaning AKA every Chinese national can be made to be a spy. And that is not rhetoric. That is not me talking trash. That is a law. They will go after your families that's still in the homeland if you don't cooperate. They will put leverage on. They can do whatever they want to there. Just like the freaking Chinese police stations. Have we took those out yet? I hadn't heard. Maybe they've been doing clandestine operations, not letting the public know. We just assume they're still there. So when biological materials testing operations and weird business structures intersect with Chinese nationals tied to prior federal investigations, you can call that xenophobia, man. I call that counterintelligence math. You don't assume innocence. You don't assume guilt, but you investigate aggressively. Look at these people. And now we're bringing over 600,000, Donald Trump said, to get some college. We're going to educate them here. Chinese nationals, that could be spies because per their national law, they have to be. And we don't wait till something breaks with containment. It's like the terrorist that shot up the National Guard, killed the National Guard member in D.C. Why were we not proactively looking for this expired visa instead of waiting until they do something? Are we going to wait for this lab to pop off with a new pandemic? Right? And the thing that everybody dodges here is that the U.S. has seen a major surge in Chinese nationals crossing the border since the Biden or during the Biden. High volume. And that cover through the Biden created the opportunity. It made screening impossible. We don't know who's here. But we've been exploiting these low-risk wins. Okay, they're doing something, man, 3,000 a day. But how many of these guys we got? They don't make it known. I don't think they're getting any. They don't need an army of people, man. Splinter cells don't need to operate that way to cause massive chaos in this country. Release an agent that is able to be contracted by people quickly, spreads, right? Highly contagious. They just need access. Maybe they're working at a food plant. They have access. Maybe they're working at near the city water lines, whatever it is. But this is why, and I get a lot of hate for it because I don't clap for PR arrests. I understand that everything that I'm shown by the government, no matter who's in charge, is propaganda. All of it is. And that's why I don't care about low-risk wins that look good on cable news or social media. I don't care about them because real threats don't announce themselves, man. They sit quietly. They operate legally adjacent. They hide behind paperwork. They wait. And every time we find one of these operations, it's not because the system caught it early. It's because something went wrong. Again and again and again. It's happening every time. It's outrageous, man. But here's the question, and this is where I want the comment section to light a fire. Do you think this is isolated, or do you think this is just stuff we've already stumbled into? How many more labs are operating in blind spots, and how many more properties are tied together through shell companies? How many times do we have to get lucky? Because luck, unfortunately, is not a security strategy. I want you to drop your take below. Argue it out if you don't agree. But don't pretend this isn't happening. I told you this was coming. This is Black Scout Survival. Stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Because, man, the biolabs are out there. Black Scout.